Hey guys, it's Keena. I am here in my office and I get a ton of questions from you guys either in comments or in DMs about natural alternatives to pharmaceutical or over-the-counter medicine. So I thought I would start doing a couple videos to give you guys some options if you want to quite easily actually use herbal medicine or alternative medicine instead of things that are over the counter. So the first one that I'm going to present to you guys today is really, just close to home, and I think a lot of people deal with it, and that's allergies, whether they be seasonal allergies or even sometimes acute allergies, like, you got a bug bite or something like that. So what I have here is some Claritin, which is loratadine, but there are a ton of different allergy medicines like Benadryl, Xyzol. I mean, there's just so many, and so that's like levocetirizine or cetirizine, diphenhydramine, lots of allergy medicines on the market, and they usually serve one of two purposes or sometimes both, and that is, one, they reduce inflammation. So that is when we have redness, swelling, in some area of the body, and even pain, especially like in the sinuses. A lot of people know about sinus pain during allergy season, or they have hay fever or things like that. And then the second would be like an anti-allergy response or antihistamine response. So basically, when you have your allergy medications, they are either or both antihistamine or anti-inflammatory, and sometimes both, because that really helps. So I think the best way to understand how allergy medicine works is to understand what is a histamine. So a histamine is a chemical that responds to the immune system. The immune system finds these things that are allergens to some of us, so dust, dander, pollen, pets, you name, foods, whatever. And the immune system perceives them as something bad that are trying to kill us. So the immune system releases histamines to technically protect us, but typically, these allergens are not trying to kill us, they're just aggravating us. And because of that, we just have these symptoms of discomfort. So then we have the pain, inflammation, stuffy nose, itching in the eyes or skin, hives even. Sometimes people get eczema, and then you have like the sneezing. All these things are the body's way of trying to move what they perceive as something trying to attack it out of the body. So that's what a histamine is. So that's why you will understand antihistamine, because anti means against. So it's medicine that is trying to calm down or stop your histamine response in your body when there is a perceived danger. Now, generally speaking, over-the-counter and prescription allergy medicines are regarded as pretty safe, but they do have side effects. So you have medicines like Claritin, and most people know about Benadryl, that it makes you super sleepy and you have to take it at night and things like that. So they do come with their share of side effects, and some of those side effects of allergy medicine or antihistamine medication are dry mouth, that drowsiness that we talk about with Benadryl, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, restlessness, inability to fall asleep, especially in children. Sometimes it'll have the opposite effect of that, that drowsiness, and actually makes you kind of wired, depending on what it is, and especially if it's a steroidal anti-inflammatory that you've been given, kind of like prednisone. It can make the heart race, make you kind of uncomfortable, kind of jittery, like you had too much coffee. So that's some of the concerns, and some people more than others experience those side effects of allergy medication, over the counter or prescription. So what we want is to be able to have a natural alternative, because as you know, it's like not that natural medication is without flaw 100% of the time, but it's usually regarded as safe, and there are little to no side effects. So that's why we would want more of a natural action to be taken against that kind of allergy response. So I'm going to show you guys 2 different herbs today that actually act in 2 kind of different ways. Like one of them is anti-allergy or antihistamine, and the other is really, really good with inflammation, especially if you have issues of the skin like eczema or hives, rash type things, when you have an allergic response. So I'll show you guys these, what I have here. So the first one is nettle. It is often called stinging nettle, but it's, you know, it's the right thing if you're looking at nettle. Now nettle as the plant can be used as roots, leaves, and even the seeds. But for allergy, we're going to be using the leaves. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, and it just smells kind of like your typical tea. I don't know if you guys can see that, but stinging nettle. And the thing about nettle is so common that it's actually in stores. I love traditional medicinals tea. They usually have a wide variety of options, and they do have a nettle tea. So you don't have to go out and buy a big loose leaf option like I have. You can just get it in tea form. But what's awesome about nettle is that it is anti-inflammatory. So, you know, all those inflammatory responses we're talking about, like, you know, swollen nasal passages, sinuses, even like a sore throat that could happen depending on your allergic response, and any pain and redness associated with it. So nettle is really good for allergies. It's like an all-around kind of allergy treatment. It also, what's I gonna say? I was going to talk about rhinitis, which is the same thing. So rhinitis is inflammation right in like this area of the nose and kind of the sinuses. So rhinitis and sinusitis are right around the same area, and stinging nettle or nettle is really good for that. Now the way you would use the nettle leaves or any leaves of a plant are in a tea, which is considered an infusion. And that just means pouring some hot water over it and letting it steep for about 10 to 20 minutes, and then taking that. So you would do like 1 to 2 teaspoons of the stinging nettle per cup of water, and just make it like a tea. You could also make a tincture if you're good at that and you know how to do that. You can do that with alcohol and water. I usually do about a 50%. So that's like half water, half like a grain alcohol, and then you would pour it over your nettle and let that sit for like 30 days, and you'd have a tincture, which is really strong and really fast acting, taking sublingually under the tongue. But the easiest way, especially like you're having an issue like right now, is just make some nettle tea. It's really awesome. I got stung by a wasp a couple of weeks ago. Some of you guys know that from Instagram, and that's what I was using because I was so itchy and it was burning. Our second herbal option is chickweed. Now chickweed, see if I can get it nice and close for you. Looks very similar, because once you get like to dried leaves, they all kind of start to look the same. It smells very tea-like, just like the other one. And chickweed is great for allergic reactions involving the skin. It is anti-inflammatory, and it specifically works really well, like I said, for skin conditions. So if your allergic response comes with rash, eczema, hives, things like that, then you want to also incorporate chickweed. And you can do this with the nettle, so you don't have to take it by itself, and they can really work together to bring those symptoms under control. But yeah, if you have any type of skin reaction with your allergies, then chickweed is your go-to. Same idea, it's a leaf with this one, so you're going to be using it as an infusion or a tincture. So like I said, an infusion is just a fancy word for tea. So you can make yourself a tea with it, or you can make a tincture. Same way, this one I use about 40 or 50% alcohol. So like I said, that's half alcohol, half water, or 40, 60%. And then you just, cover it up with the liquid, and you just let that sit kind of in your cupboard for like 30 days, and then it'll be ready for you to take in tinctures. And it's just like very small drops that you would take sublingually or in a beverage or something like that. And they work together in tandem really, really well. So those are really good options for using them. Now with chickweed, there are some cautions. I wouldn't necessarily call it a side effect, but it definitely is worth mentioning that if you take too much chickweed, that it can cause diarrhea and or vomiting, but that is in like extremely high doses, and you wouldn't be taking that. Like I said, you would be taking 1 to 2 teaspoons per cup of water in some tea. That is not enough to elicit a vomiting response or a diarrhea response, and you can do that up to 3 times a day for either of these teas, you know, basically until your symptoms subside. And usually with that first cup of tea or that first drop of tincture, you will start to find some relief. So yes, these are really good options for that. So in our first, you know, big pharma versus nature, I know I'm partial, but I do believe that the natural options work, and I believe they would win in that battle against, you know, these more, I guess, traditional options that are over the counter or that you could get via a prescription, because like I said, they have little to no side effects and they work really quickly. It's easy to have on hand because you can buy, you know, big amounts like this, or you can also get it in tea form. Chickweed I haven't seen in tea, but you can also get it. My favorite places to get bulk dry herbs are either Frontier or a company called Star West. This is not a sponsored video, but I trust them, and they have a lot of organic herbs and berries and seeds and roots and things like that. So that's a good resource if you want to stock up and have your own stuff, or if you can't find it in the grocery store in tea form. A lot of people are surprised that there are so many medicinal teas right there in the grocery aisle. So the next time you're in the grocery store, like, just take a minute and look through, especially traditional medicinals. Like the Yogi brand also has a lot of options, but like, yeah, just take a look, and then you'll see some of these things that seem like they're so elusive when we talk about herbal medicine are right there at the grocery store. So grab you some of that if allergies kind of get on your nerves, the way they do in my house. My son definitely gets hives, so chickweed is something that I use in the preparation for him. A lot of people know that the allergy rescue tincture that I make over on my site, sovereignherbs.com, is inspired by my son, because he started to get hives all of a sudden, in addition to his regular allergy symptoms. So that is a combination tonic that has the nettle and the chickweed and then some other herbs as well, and it really is, you know, a rescue for when you have that itching and that discomfort. So check that out. So let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have so many people that ask me, like, well, what is a natural alternative for this or that? So I would love to hear down in the comments, what medicines would you like to see compared and contrast in my Big Pharma versus Nature series? If whatever it is, I'm sure I can find you a natural alternative. And if I can't, I'll just say that, you know, if there's nothing that makes sense or I think will win out, I will just let you know that, you know, unfortunately, this is something that, you know, may only take a chemical drug. And there's not anything wrong with Western medicine at all. I think complementary medicine makes the most sense in most cases. So like I said, let me know what you guys would like to know about. What other medicines do you want to see compared and contrasted against what's right here in Mother Nature for us? Let me know. I'll see you guys soon, and I hope this was really helpful for you guys. Bye. I gotta get back to work.